Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second Friday Mastermind of 2023. I can only say the year is off to a fast start. Like it is busy, it is exciting, it is not without challenges, but we've got some exciting news today, and we have an exciting guest. We have Jen DuPlessis, who we're going to bring on stage in a few minutes. When I do the introduction of Jen, I'll tell you the backstory that we all have with her. So it's kind of a special thing for myself and Todd, given all the history we have with Jen. So before I do that, Renee Rodriguez joined us because we have a big announcement. You know, this is the week where we are announcing the date and the details of the Modern Mortgage Summit. Todd, will this be the third year that this event has been put on by fourth year? That's what I thought.
Year number 4.
So the fourth year, guys, that we have done the Modern Mortgage Summit. It's all in one day. It's the Modern Mortgage and Real Estate Summit. And guys, this is the most attended event in mortgage. You know, we've sold over 10,000 tickets to this event. It's just extraordinary. And this year we're going to do something special. It's part of it is going to be live. There's going to be 60 tickets for, I don't know, everybody who is invested to go to this thing live is a VIP. The speakers, we've already sold about 20 of the 60 tickets. So we got about 40 tickets left. And people that watch us on our shows, we're giving first shot at. And we're going to send out some private invitation emails to some people that we would just love to be in the same room with. So before I share more about it, I'm going to have Renee give his vision on it, Todd give his vision, and then we will bring Jen on stage in a few seconds.
Thanks, Dave. You know what I'm so excited for? I mean, this is the third year that we're doing this, and the virtual feel was done, I think, such a smart way with the TED Talk and everything. But when we got together, we said, you know what? There's a camaraderie that happens, especially in this community, and any opportunity I think we all get together, I think is going to be one of the most exciting things. And so we've got a very special location. If you know who Bradley is, if you don't follow him, the real Bradley, he's got an crazy cool training center in his offices where we have 60 leather recliners with a massive LED wall behind us. And so 60 people that are going to be part of the VIP group, we get to spend the day together. And so not only are we going to watch the speakers speak live in the TED Talk style, but we'll be sitting in those VIP chairs, doing the camaraderie, doing the networking, sharing ideas. And if you know right now, the conversations that we have right now are what dictate how we view the world. My focus, and you'll be hearing a lot of this from me in 2023, is around vision science. It's how we vision and how we look at the world. There's so much cool stuff happening in terms of how successful people view and see the world. And the biggest and best way to do that is to surround yourself around people that have vision, to see opportunity. Right now, the media is trying to kill us with saying what's going on. Don't let them. There are so many opportunities in a market like this. My business has been built in the difficult markets. This is the time that we separate ourselves from the rest. And so if you're looking at coming and attending, for sure attend virtually. But if you can get to Las Vegas, come hang out with us for that day. It's going to be another life-changing event because it's not the 1,000, 2,000 people in a room. This is 60 heavy hitters all in an intimate place together, talking about opportunity and possibility. So I'm more excited than ever.
Well, and what I love about that is not just the 60 of people from our community. It's going to be 60 people in our community, plus the top mortgage loan officers who will be speaking live from our community, as well as a handful of the top real estate agents in the country that will be there for the Modern Real Estate Summit. And I think anytime you can get an opportunity to rub elbows with the best of the best. I mean, I love what you said, Renee, that our conversations we have right now is how we view the world. And I think our conversations that we have this year and the experiences we have this year are absolutely going to be part of the results that we achieve. And so I think it's this great opportunity, absolutely for those of you who this isn't an opportune time to spend the money to travel, to be there. The virtual event is going to be off the charts. It will be the same price, only $100 as it's always been. And so that's going to be a great opportunity for you to all be there. And then also for those of you who aren't there, to host a real estate, event with your real estate agents. And I'm just super fired up, right? I mean, the time that we all get to, we've always had fun, right? The three of us plus Deborah plus Adam and whatever team we've got there. But I think to have the rest of the crew with us live is going to be a game-changing, life-changing day.
Well, just to be able to ask the speaker questions kind of live time and get a relationship with them. I mean, we get to do the interviewing all the time, and selfishly we can ask the questions that either we want to know more about or that we hope are the questions that you guys need answered just from a, weekly, format. But if you're there live, and any of you who've ever been to Amplify and you've experienced that kind of collaborative learning type environment, or just access to that person that you see, but maybe your situation's a little bit different and you just want a little bit more than what's shown as a recording, then this is such an incredible opportunity to get that. So make the investment in yourself, choose you. That's going to be the biggest ROI in anything.
All right,
Love
guys.
that.
I don't want to steal too much thunder from bringing Jen on. I want to get her on stage quick. I want to make sure y'all know, just go to modernmortgagesummit.com. But guys, there's no pressure. We're not selling the in-person seat, because I think, the people that want to be with Shop Bedosian, #1 loan officer in America, with Jason Mitchell, #1 realtor in America, if you can afford it and it's not going to hurt you, we'd love to be there. It's going to be a great group. But guys, we've announced it. This is where you get a ticket. We'll be talking to the lenders that we've talked to in the past to buy site licenses for this, but it is announced. It's out there. Now let's bring on the special guest. So guys, Jen DuPlessis has been one of America's most successful loan officers. She knows what it means to be a $100 million producer. She is a mortgage coach grandmaster, even though at the time that she used mortgage coach, we didn't have the gamification, but she's a grandmaster. When it comes to being super efficient and productive with systems, like really a special leader in the mortgage industry. The way we got close, I'll still remember when I met Jen and her husband for the first time. She just had this energy about her. It was just like, who are these people? Super cute couple. She's an incredible mom. She's an incredible wife. She's an incredible mortgage professional. And now she's an incredible coach, an incredible speaker. When Todd and I first launched this productivity mastermind, Jen was like you, Deb, basically Deb, Jen went off, got too busy. Maybe you'll do that to us also, with her speaking opportunities and building her brand, both in mortgage and beyond mortgage, and beyond sales productivity. I mean, when it comes to building wealth, really creating sustainable income, she is a leader. So guys, this is a special leader. Deb just said Jen's my hero. So Jen DuPlessis. I know we took the first 10 minutes to make this announcement, but we got 50 amazing minutes with you. Welcome back to a place that you helped start.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm excited. I was actually just talking to Darren Hardy yesterday. He's one of my mentors, one of my coaches. And I was just speaking with him yesterday saying, yeah, can you believe it? Remember when we did this and asked for permission to become the productivity mastermind. And, that's really where it all started. It's just amazing. But, thanks for the introduction. I've been spending a lot of time with you, Dave.
I had the honor of being on Jeff, on your mastermind, which was really cool earlier this week.
Yeah, you were, came into my coaching thing and then my mastermind. I love it. I love it. I'm going to have you come in for something else, shortly here. We're going to work on some sales stuff, but, I just really appreciate the opportunity, and, the mortgage industry was, I can't believe I would say that. First of all, March 1st, I'm celebrating 40 years in mortgage industry. I cannot believe that. And I'm also celebrating 40 years of marriage this year. So it's amazing that we survived being in the mortgage industry together the whole time. And, it's just exciting. It's just a real exciting time. And, when I released Mortgage Lending Mastery, while I was in the mortgage business, just to have an avenue to, answer questions, because I'd been elevated up into the top 200 loan officers. And next thing I knew, everybody wanted to pick my brain and I just didn't have the bandwidth. So I said, what can I do? So I started this thing called a podcast 9 years ago. And that really is what was the springboard to take me, you know, to now speak internationally on a variety of different topics. So it's an exciting life. I'm loving it. I'm living my legacy while I'm building it. And that's what I think everything is about. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, if you guys want to ask questions, that's fine, but I can talk to you about these 5 keys. We can go into that right away. I'm just prepared for anything and everything. You know, I'm just passionate about making sure that everyone in this industry makes 6 figures or more. And I'm baffled by people that don't make 6 figures. And that's why I wanted to share these 5 keys, because these, for me, are the keys that, you know, created the 7 figures that I made, you know, for over 15 years. And so what do you guys want to do? Do you want to ask me questions about it? Do you want me to start
let's hold
spewing?
just a couple minutes on the 5 things, because I think we'll have plenty of time for that. I do have one question I want to ask, but before I ask my one question, I want to give, you know, Deb, Renee, or Todd, do either one of you have a question for Jim before we hear the 5 things?
You know, before I leave, I'd say this one, Jen, it's always great to see you. Right now is the time we need wisdom. And I say this industry, I've been part of it for 21 years. And somebody asked me the other day, why do we find ourselves in the same cycles? And I said, well, there's a lot of things that I do that I don't bring to the mortgage industry because it's so transactionally focused. And, you know, people say, well, why don't you do this Engage course? I said, well, because they don't ask the question, how's this going to get me another deal? And everything's about, can I get this other deal? Can I get, how do I, well, I only need 2 loans to pay for it. Everything's very transactional in the mindset and in the paradigm. But there's so many other things that we need the wisdom of people that have been, you said 40 years. And if you're listening to this and you think this is a tough time or anything like that, tough times are required for wisdom and the things that we can help see through that. And so I would say, what words of wisdom would you have for us to get through this? And I'm going to be sort of on and off because I got to catch a flight, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Thank you. Well, let me just announce here, because I spoke on we had 1,500 real estate agents on a big summit yesterday that I spoke on, and I was the only person who wasn't a realtor speaking, which I thought was interesting. And of course, I'm not originating anymore. You know, I'm not in the business like I used to be, but you know, from that meeting, I said, you know what, I'm doing 2 books right now. One is called Impact, and it's an acronym book. And so if you want to be an author and you want to be a #1 international best-selling, it's guaranteed, get a hold of me, because it's very nominal to get involved and that'll increase your influence. But I've decided we're going to do another collaborative book. And I just bought the website yesterday because I say this all the time. Mindset plus mechanics equals momentum. Mindset plus mechanics equals momentum. And that's going to be our next collaborative book, where we're bringing in people, you know, to talk about mindset and mechanics, right? So that we can create momentum. So I love your question, Renee, because, you know, I was very transactional for a long time. You know, I did 50 million a year. I was in the top 1%, but I was working, you know, hundreds of hours like we all do, you know, all the time. And I thought there's got to be a better way. And that's when I started developing these 5 principles to crack the top producer code, which I talk about a lot. And I talk about it in other industries too. But what I realized in that process was it was the mindset that I was missing. And it wasn't that I needed a deal and I was done. I was like, you know, I'm not chasing anybody anymore. And I don't, even in my coaching practice and everything that I do, I don't coach hundreds and thousands of people. My goal is to coach 50 people, and that's who I coach. And so I thought, you know, mindset is every action that I do is about client attraction. I'm no longer going to be a cat on a marble floor in oil, seeking a deal. I'm now going to elevate myself, raise my frequency, and make sure that people that are interested in working with me are attracted to what I have to offer. So if my energy is too much for you, I get it. If my energy isn't enough, I get it, right? And that's what I did. And I turned around and I was doing I did 102 million my first year that I did over 100 million. And I didn't expect that. All I was doing was changing the way I was working. So yeah, it's all about mindset. And, you know, it's not woo-woo, it's all about mindset. And so as people in the industry, we have a tendency to have a shell around us, right? Or armor. And we don't want anyone to see our weakness. And we, We go around saying we don't need anything, but we're going to help everybody, but we don't need anything. Well, I'm good. I don't need anything. I encourage you to poke holes in your armor, let people see who you are. We know the know, like, and trust. They know what you do, right? They may like you, but you're not getting business because they don't trust you, and they can only trust you when they know who you are, not what you do, not your title, not, oh, I'm a lender, I'm a loan officer, I'm a certified this, a town advisor, that. It doesn't matter what your destination is. Tell them what you do and who you are, and they will gravitate right towards you and watch your business blossom. It's just incredible. So that's the answer to that question.
So before you get into the 5 things, I've been interviewing mortgage executives, people that I just feel have been through multiple shifts in the market, and this is another shift. And so usually if we had more time, I would do the interview like, what do you think the 3 biggest opportunities are for loan officers in this market? But before you share the 5 things, what is the one biggest opportunity you see for loan officers in this market? If you could just share that real quick, and then we'll do the 5 things.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot about this phraseology right now, today, January. Focus to accelerate, and stop hibernating. We are all waiting for the rates to drop, and waiting for someone to call me, and waiting for the buyers to come out, and waiting for the inflation to go away, and maybe waiting for a recession to happen, which would be good because rates would drop. But we're waiting. And so I would say right now is the time to be focusing so you can accelerate your business. Having said that, this is the time to move forward and forge the relationships with everybody. I started off saying this years ago. I have an adopt a mortgage program. If you've been orphaned by your last lender who got in, made a buck, and left, I want to adopt your mortgage. I then turned that into mortgages under management. And I would say, and so it's not about that specifically, but right now, people in our industry are self-selecting out. People that are my age that said, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. People that got in for a quick buck and didn't hone in on their skills, they're out. You have people out there that have been orphaned, clients that have been orphaned by their lender, clients that have been orphaned by their realtor, realtors that have been orphaned by loan officers. Now is the time to go grab them. Don't come out in March and stretch. Oh, I've been hibernating because now the market gave it to me and I'm happy, and find that everybody else has already done all the work. This is right now the time that you need to hone in on those sales skills, create those relationships, learn about blended rate. That's something a lot of people don't know about. I would say right now, hone in on your skills and create relationships while it's hot. Right now it's hot. I'm so excited about this year. If you can't tell.
Right on. So guys, my takeaway from that is hone in on your sales skills. One of the biggest opportunities in this market is to upgrade how you communicate. I'll be talking more around what I think are the 6 mega trends. And I would just say what Jen just said, wrap that around everything else. So Jen, we want to make sure you have plenty of time. We still got 40 full minutes. So start unpacking your 5 things that you need to do to win in this market. And then Renee, if you have to jump, feel free, but Deb, jump in, ask questions, add color, and Todd. I'm going to really let you guys run this. I'm going to stay here, but Deb, feel free to be as active as you want on this call. So Jen, what do you got?
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about one, and then I'm just going to open up for a question. How's that? So these 5 keys to rapid success, like I was saying, is that it baffles me how or why. I'm always looking at why aren't people making 6 figures? And for those of you that are making six figures, what's preventing you from making 7? And for those of you that are making 7, what's preventing you from making 8? It's time to be thinking about 8 figures now. The old days of I want to at least do 100,000 or over. And of course, everybody wants to make $1 million, but who wants to make $1 billion, right? And it's possible. And that's what's exciting about what I want to share with you. So, what I want you to leave with today is just one thing that I say today that you could do differently, right, to get the results. That's number one. One thing you could do differently to get the results. Second thing is to write down 2 mindset shifts that could change the trajectory of your business in the soaring 20s. soaring 20s, right? So again, listen in, because if you're doing higher numbers, you still want to do higher numbers, right? All right, so the fact that I'm completely obsessed with this is just ridiculous. But number one is you need to know where you are currently. You need to know, where are you currently? So many of us are running in the wrong direction and we don't even know it. We don't take time. One of the things that I've always said is stop talking, take action, and get results. The other thing is slow down to speed up instead of speeding up to slow down. So assess where you're at, do a gap map, whatever mechanism or resource you use. You know, if you have a coach, great. If you don't, figure it out. But you know where you're at now. Where are you? Are you in formulation? Are you in concentration? Are you in momentum? Are you in stability? And then look at your whole practice. Maybe your practice is in stability, but you're in formulation for social media. Maybe your practice is in concentration, but you're in stability for relationships. Dissect and break that, fractionalize it so that you know where you're at in every piece of your business, so that you know where to go instead of just going. Because what I find is that, again, people that are doing 5 and 6 figures are running in the wrong direction. What I know about 7-figure earners is that they are very, very clear about where they are now before they take action or find some shiny object syndrome to move forward. So that is number one key, is you've got to understand where you're at now. So I'm going to stop right there and see if there's a comment or a question about that.
You know, I love that, Jen. I think it's really critical. I think that especially this time of year, I'm really surprised that more loan officers haven't actually looked back to see not really the results of 2022, because I don't think that that's actually a good number. I think it's what were your results in the last quarter of 2022. So how do you coach people to go back and just put that together and then look at where they are now that we're 13 days into the month?
Yeah. Well, first of all, interesting that you said that. I actually coach all of my clients to run on a fiscal year. So we did our business planning at the end of September. It's amazing how many loan officers still don't have a business plan, still don't have a marketing plan. And so what we do is we do everything at the end of September, so that the last quarter of the year, which is the first quarter of your fiscal year, the last quarter of the year, we're doing all of the activities to accelerate the results. So often we wake up in January and go, okay, I'm going to put my business plan together. And then when you start doing the activities, you don't see the results till May. And this is why we quit on our goals and don't make it to our goals. I say, I'm not going to make it to my goal this year. So we like to get that good jump start. Yeah, you have to go back and look at the numbers, but mine's very holistic. My gap map is, your outlook on life, your revenue, all the number pieces of it. But it's also the others that I coach on, which is clarity of your message, clarity of your niche. How are you going to elevate yourself and be the expert? Because when you're the expert and you call to get an appointment, or you've elevated your brand and you call to get an appointment with any referral partner, it's so much easier because they know you. Instead of us making 40 calls a day and trying to figure out, hey, I'm begging for business, so elevate yourself so it's easier to get those appointments. And in fact, you'll have people calling you for appointments because they want to work with you. And you'll know you're successful the day you say, I'm not accepting any more relationships right now, at least at this level, right? Because we do have to have different levels of relationships. So I think it's really important that you're looking at clarity, that you look at who your community is, pulling back on your community and working with people that complement and not complicate. It's time to really assess those relationships, because we don't have infinite time to go out and have relationships with everybody out there. So pull it back and say, you know what, I just want to go deeper. The third is communication. What are your systems like? I hope, for God's sake, everybody's got a written PLP after what happened with COVID. But maybe you need to have 8 different systems for active clients and passive clients and realtors and other referral partners and clients that are in a home buyer club, or whatever it is you're doing. You need to have different systems in place, communication, and they need to be really effective and really efficient. So if you have an effective but inefficient, it doesn't work. And if you have an efficient but it's not effective, that doesn't work as well. And then you want to have your community, well, I say community, so clarity, community, credibility. I talked about credibility, and influencing, and then your communication. And last but not least is continuity. And I don't use the word constant, because if you look up the definition of the two, continuity is using a consistent program. Consistency is a program. It's not actually doing it. So continuity is making sure that you're doing priority management, that you have a coach to help you accelerate your results instead of you trying to figure it out all on your own. And it really is prioritizing the people you want to work with, the things that you want to do, and being real clear about that. So it's very holistic. It's not just numbers. And of course we look at numbers, but we focus on client acquisition as opposed to goals. So if you needed 100 clients this year to reach your goal and you had 70 by June, most of us would say, I only have 30 left. And that's one of the challenges I have with goals, because it limits you. It puts a lid on your ability to make as much as possible. Why not say, if I could have 70 by June, I can get 90 for the balance of the year and exceed your goals. So we do goals. Okay, I want to make 500,000 this year, or whatever the number is. But when we dissect that, what we do is we focus on the client acquisition, the activity to level us up there. And then we'll be surprised that when we get there, we're at 100 million or $1 million of income for that year. Does that make sense? So does that answer that question? It's long. It's long.
That was great. Go ahead, Deborah.
Well, I just want to put a bow on the fact that, what other way, talk about opportunities for right now. If you are consistent on social, that is, and you're doing video, we know video carries the most amount of influence and also helps with reach on social. But how else, what better way that's free, could you grow your visibility, your credibility, and your trust before you even sometimes have an at-bat, is what I say, because the word of mouth referral just doesn't go as far anymore, especially with millennials and Gen Zs who seek constant validation. They are going to take that word of mouth and they're going to go research, and they're going to Google, and they're going to look for you on social, and they're going to make two judgments based off warmth and competency. So own the narrative and choose to put yourself out there consistently in an efficient and effective way, like Jen said, and grow your influence and trust before you even have that conversation, because then it makes the conversation much shorter because you've already developed some trust, and allow your social to be kind of that employee that's always working for you without you always having to do it.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think the key here is that your conversions will be higher. Your conversion to appointment, your conversion to client, because there's a level of trust that's built there. And it's not just with videos online. Go out and interview people in your community, interview charities. All of you should be speaking at the association. I know when I was loan officer, I'll tell you, I spoke at the Association of Quilt Makers or whatever. I don't even know, I don't know how to sew a button, but I was speaking everywhere. When we talk about client acquisition, it's one to many, not one to one. We don't have time for that. We will get to the one-to-ones, I get that. But when you're trying to elevate your influence, it's one to many. Speak everywhere. Present everywhere. Sponsor to speak. If someone asks you, hey, will you sponsor this event? Absolutely. However, I require at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to speak, because you want to have that one to many. That's all social media is one to many. That's what it is. So take it from online and keep it there. I shouldn't say take it from. Do online, but do offline social media one to many as well. So I love that you said that. That's great. That's beautiful. Okay, let me go to number 2. Number 2 is build a team. Build a team. What I know about 5-figure and some 6-figure earners is that they think they can do it alone, right? I think I can do it better than anybody else. But there's something called the law of diminishing return. As you continue to grow your practice, holes becomes holes in your process, right? If you had one loan, you can hold it and call it George and do everything for it. But when you have multiple loans, you have to get out of your own way. And we have this chip that says, they want me. It's all about me. No, it's it's a process that you gave them, the customer experience that you gave them. So I'd encourage you to not think about customer service anymore, because everybody does customer service. It's a conveyor belt of getting a mortgage. Customer experience is how they feel having left you, having worked with you. And it creates a revolving door of opportunities and referrals, because your clients are compelled to tell their friends. I call my past clients alumni clients. I don't ever call them past clients. In fact, when all of you say past client, I think PASSED, because we go to a closing and we close the coffin on the relationship. We forget to call them. We're afraid to call them. We don't know why we call them, and so I think of them as alumni, not a linear process in getting a mortgage, but rather an infinity process in getting a mortgage, where we bring them back in, we nurture them, we bring them back in over and over. They tell all their friends, they're excited about their experience, they give money back, right? By working with us again, right? So when you go at it alone, you can't do all these beautiful things that create this beautiful experience. It's just impossible to be able to do without sacrificing that perfect loan process, that experience that everyone's expecting. So you need to have a team. And that's my specialty. I specialize in building world-class teams for people so that they can move. You're going to love this. We know this phrase. And since you're still on here with me, Deb, so you know this phrase, don't work in your business, don't work in your business. Right. I don't like either. I say move from working in your business and on your business to working above and beyond your business.
Ooh,
and that's what teams do. Yeah, teams allow you to have infinite time. If you have 10 people, and I know it's a lot, but let's say you have 10 people on your team and they're all working 40 hours a week, you have 400 more hours per week of productivity. Time is limitless. If you do it by yourself, good luck. Good luck working 80 hours a week. You can do it for a while, but not for long. And so you're preventing yourself from the success that you could have. So what I know about 7-figure people is they build incredible world-class teams. Everybody's a rock star. Not everybody breathes. Only rock stars can work with me. Period. End of story. Right. And that's what you should be saying yourself. And that will accelerate your business tenfold. And I have proof of that because it did it for me. All I wanted to do was close 20 loans a month. I had 18 every month. And I had the loans in there, but I could never get past 18 loans a month. And I said, fine, I'll hire somebody. I did. And I didn't go to 19. I went to 26, and then I went to 35, and then I went to 82 a month, because I had brought this team on, and I said, wait a minute, I'm onto something here. So it became my life goal to figure out, how do I create teams for everybody? I now have 5 businesses that I run, and I have 5 teams. And here I am talking to you guys and enjoying it. And I'm present. I'm not worried about everything else that's going on. Learn to work above and beyond your business. Any questions there?
No, I mean, I think that you're, spot on. And I can say I'm guilty just back from when I practiced, and even now, a little bit of a control freak and perfectionist. And so sometimes the hardest part is just learning to let go and trusting people to learn from their own errors, or know that it's part of the journey. But that was my toughest. I know I'm not alone in that, because I've heard other people say that, but I just want to encourage everybody else that the sooner you can let go, again, the more we're gonna grow together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, you kind of nailed it, Jen. I don't think there's anyone in this community who doesn't want to build a team. And, but I think when you talked about having, a world-class loan process, that's really the starting point, because if you don't have a crystal clear process, it's really hard to hire someone and train them to something. You have to have something that's written, that's easy to execute, and that you execute with excellence consistently in order to hire someone and train into it.
Yeah, good point there. So let me tell you this quick story. As a loan officer and being a lead on a team, you own a symphony. Your job is to bring people to the symphony. Wait till you come to the symphony. Wait till you hear what we have to do, what we're doing. Wait till you get the experience and spend time with us. Except the difference is when they show up, you change your clothes and put on a little red outfit with a flat top, and you have your flashlight and go, hey, let me show you to your chair. And then you change your clothes and you get up on stage and you come out as the conductor. But then when you start playing the music, you change your clothes and you hop into the flute seat and play that piece, and then hop back up and conduct again, and then go back over and play the timpani a little bit, right? And that's why you need to have rock stars. Everybody has to know their role. If you got out there and you said, okay, I'm going to orchestrate this and I'm going to hire on for people, but you don't give them music, you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, play, and they don't know the process, it's not beautiful music and it's not a great experience. And that's what you may be experiencing, that you are feeling like you're having to chase your next client rather than waiting for them, and not really waiting, but experiencing, hey, do you like referrals? Can I refer people to? Yes, I do. Thank you. Right. So yeah, it starts with that process. Absolutely. So they know their role, but then you've got to bring in the best at what they do. And to speak to you, Deb, on that law of diminishing return, we think we're really good at everything. And we can be with one loan, but we can't be with 10. We can't be good at everything. So, and we want to hire perfection. And I say at that point, if you're functioning at 60% in a category, hire someone who does 65% because they're better than you. You're just not as good anymore. You're better in other areas, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Sound good?
Love that.
Okay, so number 3, hire advisors. So what I know about people that are making 5 and 6 figures is that they don't feel that they have enough experience. They don't feel that they've been in the business long enough. They feel that advisors and mentors and coaches are, whatever words you want to use. I prefer to call myself a mentor because I've been in your shoes, every one of them, right? A coach knows the way that things go and can coach you on the semantics of it, but they have not walked the step and can't predict what's going to happen next for you. But what I do know about high 6-figure and 7-figure people is that they have coaches and mentors, and multitudes of them. I have 5 coaches, I'll call them coaches, mentors myself. And they're for a variety of things in my life. And if you want to excel faster, you want to get there faster, you need to do some type of coaching. Whether you do big group coaching and you're just one of the people there and you're learning from that, or you do one-to-one or a hybrid of both, you need to bring an advisor into your world and not exchange. Look at it this way. You're exchanging a cost for achieving your success faster. It will cost you more. If let's say, for example, you're closing 5 loans a month, you want to go to 20, it will take you longer and cost you more than it would be to hire someone right now so you could get there faster. That's a mindset shift. And hopefully that one went through.
I 100% agree. And we could talk about that one for the 20 minutes, but we only have 20 minutes left. So let's get through points 4 and 5, and then let's all kind of mastermind and pick Jen's brain on it while we have her live here with us.
Sounds good. Okay, number 4 is growing a community. Often, what I know about 5 and 6-figure people is that they're looking for the shiny object, right? I'm going to go to this conference. I'm going to get motivated. I hope I'm an inspirational speaker and not motivational, because motivation is exterior, right? It's an outside job. Inspiration is an inside job. Exterior motivation is, I need to go to a summit, I need to go to an event, I need to get some motivation, and it's short-lived. Inspiration is lifelong. It's realizing, why do I do this? Me doing $1 billion of loans, because I funded $1 billion. $1 billion of loans wasn't about the money that I made. It was about the money, what I could do with that money, and invest in real estate and create wealth for myself and start a charity and start foundations and travel and leave a legacy for my children that will live on forever, right? That's what every single transaction does for me, every single family I help. It's not about the money. It's about where I want to go. And you have to have inspiration. So shiny object syndrome is an acronym, right? SOS. It means help. I need a shiny object syndrome. I need to buy this. I need to get that. I need to have this thing and that thing. And oh, you have it, so I need to get it. That's the problem with SOS. Build a community around you that bird dog for you, that care about you, that want to help you, that give back, that you're giving back to. Be a charity champion, right? Work with charities. That's huge right now. Everything I do has a charity component. People will be drawn to that. And when you support a charity that has their own network, you're doing the one to many, because now they're going to watch everything you're doing. Hey, I like that person. They're in lending and they're supporting this charity that I'm part of and follow. I'm going to call them, right? So what I know is that 6- and 7-figure people surround themselves with communities that help elevate them faster. Absolutely help them. That's number 4. Number 5. This is not going to surprise anybody. Systems, 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 and more systems. Systems for follow through, systems for prospecting, systems for after meeting with a referral partner, systems for guiding your clients who are not ready to buy. We had a home buyer club. So anyone who is not an active client for whatever reason, credit, need to get divorced, need to get married, need to have a baby, need to sell, need to get a job, whatever the reason was, they went into a home buyer club. Right into that club and that system, because I know all of us had this call where a client calls and says, hey, we signed a contract, and you're going, wow, I'm so glad they're calling me because I don't even remember them, right? But you have to have those systems. I think we have good intent, but we lack actual systems to follow through. And of course, if they can be automated, it's better, but start on paper. Don't look for the SOS. Don't look for some system that's going to solve the problem. Create it on paper and work it, move it around, shake it around, make sure it's efficient and effective, move it around, and then go seek something that will fit best for that system. And what I know is that high 6, 7, and 8-figure people, they have systems for everything. So get it out of your head, get it onto paper, share it with your team. If you have a team, and work that system every single time. And I know your business will be successful. So that's number 5.
Do you have a list of those systems, Jen, as a resource that you'd be willing to share?
I
know you mentioned a bunch of them, but I feel like there's people who always think I'm missing something. And so I think that might be helpful. If that's something you're willing to go back in the community and post, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll go back in the community and put the systems in there, and I'll put the secondary. I basically have systems for follow through, and then lack of follow up versus systems, and so I'll put all of it in there. I'll pop in for you guys. Yeah.
Well, so if you're all, again, kind of just slow to catch on. I mean, really what Jen has shared with us are really systems. Well, first off, she did $1 billion worth of loans. So that in itself should say a lot. Secondarily, you heard Dave say it. I mean, she was really one of the original. There was 6 of us who originally were on here week in and week out. And, before, Deborah, before it was Jen, she was the one who was here with me, each week. If Dave wasn't here, she and I ran the show. And so it's just so much fun to be back here, with her, with you, Jen. And so keep, what she's saying is super valuable. And I always say, Jen, you're like one of the best, like you've got a name for everything. Like I just love it. Like you always have, again, you're so careful with it. And I think that's really important for you all to hear, is that anytime that you brand something yourself, then you own it and it makes you different, right? If you've got, she's got a alumni clients, right? She doesn't have past clients. I mean, think about what you can do to brand yourself, and then look at the people in our community who have branded themselves and how you all know them because they've branded themselves. And so I think that's really great. Deborah, what kind of questions do you have? Because you're always so good at digging in, and you don't know Jen as well as I do.
Well, I'm just thinking for some who are listening to this and they heard your mindset plus mechanics equals momentum, as well as just the systems. Are there a top 3, or if you had to focus on these mechanics that you believe from coaching so many in this space, that's going to create the biggest lift? If you just did this consistently, are there some things you would throw out there? And I know it could be different per LO, like they may not have a team, or they could be brand new into the business. So just from like a general standpoint, if you did X, Y, and Z consistently, you would see results this year.
Yeah, I think the first one that comes to mind, we have something called, I'm afraid to say it, Todd, because you mentioned it. We have something called
No, that was a good thing. That was a compliment, because I just love it. I think it's really important
Yeah.
for people to hear, and I wanted to make sure they were hearing it the way that I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, why do you think I wrote a book on acronyms? You know, I mean, and why we're doing the volume 2 on acronyms, because I'm all about acronyms. Yeah. So we have a system called PIP. It stands for Partner Impression Program. And I would say, because I said right now, I think that you should be out there figuring out and finding out, you know, what loan officers have left the industry, you know, or who's sitting and hibernating so that you can take over while they're hibernating, you know, to get these relationships going. The key thing, well, there's several things, and I teach a class called How to Go from Intro to Income, right? It's called H2GO, H2GO. And it's really the process of, you know, having the one-to-one with whoever your partners are, you know, and what you're trying to seek in the one-to-one, because so often we go to these meetings, you know, driving there and we're going, oh, I hope they like me. I hope they like me. We get there and we show up and throw up, we leave and we give ourselves a virtual high five. Yeah, that went great. And then nothing happens, right? So we want to change all that. And that's how I, you know, created all these relationships that I have in varying degrees of relationships, because not everybody gets everything from me in those relationships. And, but the key, regardless of whether you're good at actually holding that meeting, the biggest key, as I just said, is follow through. And so I created this 100 days of, value added activities. It's not 100 things. Okay. It's just 100 days of these value added activities that you can put your money where your mouth is. Show them that you were listening to their pain points and their struggles and their challenges, and that you have some solutions, whether it's a book to read or a podcast to listen to or an article that you read, or it's your own personal experience that you have. But you've got to have a consistent system of follow through, not follow up. That's another thing I don't do either. Follow through after having a meeting with a referral partner that lasts for some period of time. And here's the context behind it. If in that period of time, they're not biting, they're not engaging, they're not showing up, they're out of my world. They complicate and they're gone, because I only work with people that complement, not complicate. So they're gone. It's not worth my time. And yet we collect all these business cards and we have these big databases and we don't know anything about anybody. I say, go lean and mean, figure out who wants to work with you, be their strategic partner. And so in doing that, I'm going to give you another little acronym. It's called CPCC. CPCC, clues, patterns, conversations, and choices. Someone doesn't show up, that's a clue. They don't show up twice, that's a pattern. It's time to have a conversation, an adult conversation. What's going on? We agreed that we wanted to meet. We agreed we wanted to work together. And then after that conversation, you make a choice. They either complement or they complicate. And you move on and you find someone else. But I'd say right now, develop that follow through system, whether you want to know that answer in 45 days, 100 days, how many actions you want to take in there. That is the biggest system I would say right now, because you all learned how to do a PLP through COVID. You sorta, right? You hopefully have it written down, but you all know how to do loans. We know operations. It's time to focus on sales.
Love it. Okay, so anything, and Rod, I don't know if you saw John's comment in there about mindset hacks. I don't know if John, you're asking for mindset hacks, but just to kind of touch on that, I mean, Jen, is there any kind of morning routine that you think is a staple, or maybe even an evening routine, so that your morning is optimized, focused more on, you know, kind of protecting your mind? Because, you know, left on your own, when things aren't going well, I mean, that can be your biggest enemy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I subscribe to Miracle Morning, you know, Hal Elrod is now a friend of mine. I've had him on my show a couple times. I've always subscribed to the Miracle Morning. I don't do the 3 o'clock in the morning thing that Dave does, but right. But I'm up early and I subscribe to it. So I do, you know, all of the reading, I do all of the physical activity, all of that. You know, I do a debrief at the end of the day, you know, to make sure that I accomplish what I wanted to do. I also do, where is it? Because I'm part of Darren Hardy, right? Darren Hardy, I do something called, you can't see what it says, but it says Living Your Best Year Ever. I would encourage you to get this book. It's a kind of like what you do, Todd, you know, with by noon, it's every day, it's every week, but it allows for a rhythm This is my 12th year using this book. And every year I give this to my clients and we go through it. And that's how, one of the ways that I coach with them. We use this for our retreats as well. But as I said in the beginning, you know, the goal here was for you to take away one thing you could do differently to change your results. So what I would encourage everyone who's watching is put in the chat, what is the one thing you could do right now to change your results that you've heard through these 5 strategies or anything else that you saw? Number 2 is, what are the 2 mind shifts that you just encountered? That's why I'm not at 7 figures. That's why I'm not at 6 figures consistently. What is that mind shift? You know, that mindset shift is, maybe I do need to get a coach or a mentor. Maybe I do need to get out of my own way and hire a team. I already have the system in place. They need to administer my system so that I don't feel threatened by having a team on here. So put that in the chat, like engage with us here and let us know, what did you get from this that is your mindset? I think you can tell I'm an eternal optimist. I learned from Dave Stevens, who's a dear, dear friend of mine. We've been friends for 35 years. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Dave and I have been friends for years and years. We talk all the time. And, you know, he taught me back in 1991 when I was a loan officer at that time, saying to me, you know, when someone asks you how the market's doing, you say it's unbelievable. It could be unbelievably bad or it could be unbelievably good. But when you hear it come out of your mouth in that tone, you say, oh, it's unbelievable. You start realizing and manifesting the fact that it is unbelievable. And you have to hire new people. You're so busy, you have to hire new people. And, you know, the one time that you say, I don't have enough time for that, that's your sign. That's your sign you need to hire more people now.
Yeah, I love that. I think mindset is such a challenge. So I love addressing that. I love that John said that he really took away the fact that you'll get from 5 to 20 loans much faster if you invest and hire a mentor or a coach. And, you know, you all know that. That's part of why, you know, we're so excited to have the Modern Mortgage Summit live. I mean, I think it's really an opportunity for everyone to get face-to-face, belly-to-belly. And it's kind of funny. I mean, literally, I got another call yesterday. There are really only going to be 60 seats in the room. I'm like, yep, there's only going to be 60 seats in the room. There's couches in the back where the speakers are going to sit. We're not even giving them chairs, and Deborah's going to be there as our social media expert. She doesn't even get a chair, so we're just going to be up and running around and making sure, you know, it's great. And I really agree. You know, I mean, Jen, for the Plessis, I guess we should call you Jen, not Jennifer. You know, you're just so full of impact. So I want to make sure. Yeah. DuPlessis. I call you DuPlessis. All right, I'll make sure I call you right now going forward. So where's the best way for people to find you? Because I want to make sure we don't get off this call and at the end you're rushing to give out your best. Like, what's the one best website? Because I'll tell you this about Jen. She's got like 85 different things that she can help you with. And so it's one of the unique things about her where, you know, like some of us, like, you know, I've got like 3 things that I can help you with. And, you know, but like, you know, Jen can help you with everything you can imagine.
Well, thanks. I put my contact information in the chat, you know, and yeah, you're right. We have, you know, I can't even tell you how many things that we have going on right now. We have a retreat coming up in October. I mean, I don't know why I said October, in Orlando at the end of February, a mastermind retreat. I'm a certified mastermind leader, so it's a real mastermind. And there might be some retreat crying or whatever there. So some people get emotional. That's all there is. I'm not going to go deep with it, but we're doing that. We have a 3-day limitless coming, another 3-day limitless event that Dave spoke on last week. So if you want to really dig in and see what's limitless, we have that. We have an in-person limitless. It's going to be happening in May in Arizona, Todd.
Woo. It's really hot here already. Like, I'm sitting out in my sweatshirt and it is hot. Like, probably just because the sun's beating down on me, but it was like 73 yesterday. You should all come here.
Yeah, I'm a little side note. I'm being knighted in May in Sedona. And so I'll be known as Lady Jen DuPlessis soon. And by the Royal Order of the Great Constantine and St. Helen. So I'm excited about that, but that's why I'm going to be there. So we're going to do an in-person 3-day event. You know, we've got the book coming out. If you want to be in a book and you want to elevate your influence, that's a great way to do that as well. It goes on. And hey, if you want to be a guest on a podcast, contact me. I have the longest running podcast in our space, Mortgage Lending Mastery. We're in the 1% of all podcasts worldwide. And, you know, if you'd like to be a guest and you'd like for me to interview you, I love interviewing everybody. You're brand new. What are you going to do? And you're experienced and tenured. Give us some of your wisdom. I love everything in between. So if you want to get some influence out there and start doing what Deb was saying, get in touch with me for that.
I love it.
But John, the
just asked-
podcast is
yeah.
Mortgage Lending Mastery.
Look at John being such a good participation.
You know, for the interaction and engagement.
Yeah.
That's learned.
No, it goes to show everything. I mean, here you are such a vessel of knowledge and wisdom, and it does require people to take action and to take the first step. And maybe that's just raising your hand. And I know for some, it's hard to ask for help or even receive help, probably because the person sitting in my seat also struggled with that for many years. But take that. Like, I just want to encourage everyone who's listening. She's sharing her contact info. Who on here is going to really be committed to making this year different than any other year? And is it possible this actually could be like your best year ever? Is that even a possibility that you're willing to entertain? Because it could be. And so reach out for help, take her up on her offer, learn to be interviewed on a podcast. She's giving you permission right now. So do it, take action.
All right, so I'm going to give my closing words, and then I'm going to nod off because my daughter is heading back to California. So I'm going to go give her a big hug before she leaves. But I just want to say thank you, Jen. I mean, truly of the people who've inspired me over the last 6 years, you're, you know, in the top of that list. And I appreciate you coming back in the community. I know you have so much going on. And so I just, I want you all to know that are wondering, hey, you know, is Jen for real? Should I do it? Like Deborah said, her info's there. Take advantage of a conversation with her. I know you will come out in a better place. And as always, super grateful for all of you and the time everyone puts into this community. And take it away, Deb.
Thank you.
Well,
And I also put in the chat, just go to just go to chatwithjen.com and schedule a strategy call. You know, let's just have a conversation. I have multitudes of opportunities at every, you know, whether you're 5, 6, 7 figures, I have multiple opportunities for you. I'm here to help. I'm here to love on you, serve you, help you. Let me do it.
I just love that. And I have to announce, in case you guys don't know, today is National Sticker Day. And Todd, whether he knows it or not, is doing a little friendly competition for the first 25 people to post with their Win by Noon planner. Okay, so you've got to post in your story with your Win by Noon planner and make sure you tag Win by Noon. Hopefully you guys are all using the Mortgage Coach edition or the Plug and Play SM edition, but make sure you tag him and he will give away free stickers for National Sticker Day.
Well, guys, this has been an awesome call. Jen, thank you so much. And Deborah, thanks for taking the lead today and bringing out all the gold. And you are a gold. You are golden. And then Jen, let's not make it. I think it's been over a year since we've done stuff together. So let's not make it so long. And I look forward to being active in your community soon. And guys, you have all the links down below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or in our group right now. Check out all the links. And why don't we close out with giving Jen a big hand? So look at those little reactions at the bottom. Click on the one that is how you're feeling. You know, what are you feeling?
I'm giving you all a big hand too.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Deb. Bye.